We are dividing, going back to long division. We are dividing by 15. That is called the divisor, the thing that is doing the dividing. That goes on the outside usually. And then the thing that we're dividing into is called the dividend. Dividend, the thing that we are dividing into. It's a joke. Okay. So long division. This goes way back. How do you do this? 15 into 84. So we don't know the answer to 15 into 849. And so what you just told me was that you're dividing 15 into 84. So you're approximating how many times 15 goes into 84. We're not taking the whole number. We're approximating. And if I didn't use 15, maybe I used like 12 or 13. I might have said, hey, and let me think about how many times 10 goes into 84. Let me approximate it, right? It's an approximation, a guesstimate, if you will. So how many times does 15 go into 84? 5, just about 5 times. And so then we take out, where does the 5 go? Up top, yeah, it's part of the quotient. And then what do you do after you get that 5? You times it, you multiply. That's n for multiply. You do 5 times the 15, right? So we do 5 times 15. Let's see, 5 times 5 is 25. Carry the 2, 6, 7. Okay, so I get 75. So 5 times 15 is 75. Then what do? You subtract. You subtract. I'm using S for subtract. And we want to make sure that we subtract everything. So we know that that's subtraction. Very good. So I use the dark red pen so I can really see it there. What's 84 minus 75? 9. Yes, it is 9. All right. And then what do? Bring down. B for bring down. Bring down, bring it down, bring it down. Bring down the 9. And then what do? Repeat the process, right? You go back and you divide again. Well, what are we dividing this time? What are we dividing this time? 99 by 15? Or maybe could I approximate it like 90 divided by 10-ish? Because it's like an ish, right? We're approximating, right? Can we approximate it? How many times does 10 go into 90? Or 15 goes into 99? About how many times? 9, yeah. Whether we use 99 divided by 15 or 90 divided by 10, we still get approximately 9. And so we would write that up top here. And then what do? We'll multiply. What are we multiplying this time? 9 times 15. 9 times 15. 9 times 15. 9 times 5 is 45. Carry the 4. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 9. Is that right? That's not right. Is it right?
No.
No. What is that? That's what. Oh, that 9 is too big, huh? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, it's 6.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry about that. That didn't work. All right, back up. So we'll try 6. 6. Don't know what I was thinking there. That's okay. 6 times 15. Maybe that'll work better. So we do 6 times 5 is 30. 3, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. That's better. All right. And then what do? Subtract again. Okay, very good, very good. And then 99 subtracting 90 is 9. And what is 9? What's that called? The remainder. Very good. That is the remainder. And the way that we would write this is typically the 56 here, which is really called the quotient. And then we would write plus 9 remainder over divisor. 56 and 9/15 is the division. Now you could go on and you could do a decimal, but we don't do that here. We're just finding the remainder over the divisor. 56 and 9/15. Now, ladies and gentlemen, today we're doing the exact same process. Divide, multiply, subtract, bring down. But we're applying it to polynomials. It is the exact same procedure. All right? So I encourage you to take really detailed notes today. I write down everything so that when you go do your work, you can look back at it. So here we go. Remember, your notes need example 1 and the directions. Divide using long division. Divide using long division. Please have example 1 and the directions written down. Divide using long division. Yes, there it is. Oh, and you know what? That means the teeth in your power now. So if you could do period 1. Oh. So if you can focus on period 1 through 5. All right, divide using long division. What is x plus 6 called? The divisor. What is 2x squared plus 13x minus 7 called? Dividend. All right, so we're taking x plus 6 and we're dividing it into 2x squared plus 13x minus 7. Now, the process is the same. So for your notes, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to write down divide, multiply, subtract, bring down. This is the algorithm for this process, and it's really important that you don't skip any steps. We're making these sign mistakes because it's really irritating when you make a sign mistake. So the first thing we're going to do is do a little simple division. Some cleanup, if you will. What do you think we're dividing? Remember, when we started with the numbers, I didn't look at the whole 849. What did we do? We looked at just 84. We looked at just the beginning part. We do the same thing here. We look at just the beginning pieces. So I want to know how many times does x go into 2x squared? So we approximate the polynomials by just looking at their leading terms. How does 2x squared divided by x clean up? 2x. Very good. What do I do with this 2x? It goes on top, right? I can put it anywhere really, but 2x. What do we do now? Multiply. M for multiply. We are multiplying this quotient times the divisor. 2x times the x plus 6, which means we need to distribute. So I like to draw these arrows to help me remember to multiply everything in the divisor. What is 2x times x? 2x squared. Look at that. It matches. It should. Every single time, it should be the same. All right, then we also have to distribute the 2x to the 6. What is 2x times 6? 12x. So I put that under the x column. Lines up. Like terms must line up. All right, we multiplied. Then what do we do? Subtract. We want to subtract everything, and this is where mistakes are made. So ladies and gentlemen, I should see these giant parentheses and a giant subtraction sign out in front. It's really important that you make note that you are subtracting everything. What is 2x squared? Take away 2x squared. 0. It should always be 0. If it's not 0, you made a mistake. Okay? Go back and try again. Now we move over. 13x, take away 12x. What is that? 13x, take away 12x. What do we get? 1x, yes. All right, then what do we do? Bring down, B for bring down. Bring down the negative 7. And then what? Start over, repeat the process, go back and do it again. Except now, here is our reduced polynomial, our simplified version. So what are we going to divide first? What do we use this time? Again, we just look to the leading term and we say x divided by the divisor. Just that leading term. What is x divided by x? How many times does x go into itself? 1 time. And that we write a positive 1 up top. All right, and then what's next? We divided, what's next? Multiply, what are we multiplying this time? 1 times the divisor. Again, we have to distribute. 1 times x is 1x. 1 times 6 is 6. We have to distribute the 1 to the whole divisor. Then what do? Subtract. Again, giant subtraction sign. Don't forget the parentheses because you have to subtract everything. Now, what is x take away x? 0. Should always cancel out. And then we have negative 7 minus the positive 6. What is that? Negative 13. All right, this is our remainder. And the reason I know it's the remainder is, first of all, there's nothing left to bring down. And also, if I were to try to repeat the process again, I would have negative 13 divided by x. Does that clean up? Like these other things, they've sort of crossed out and sort of cleaned up nicely. This is weird, right? Nothing cancels out. It's just weird, okay? And that means we're done. So this is our remainder. So we're going to do plus our remainder over our divisor. And this is our solution here. Quotient plus remainder over divisor. So 2x squared plus 13x minus 7 divided by x plus 6 is equal to 2x plus 1 plus negative 13 over x plus 6. All right, questions on that one? We're going to do a couple more. We've got 2 more, so you can hopefully get this pattern down. Your job is to try and be ahead of me, all right? Because you want to be thinking for yourself, not letting me tell you what to do, okay? So let's try another. Y cubed minus 3y squared minus 7y plus 6 divided by y minus 4. All right, what's my divisor? Y minus 4, yeah. Y minus 4 is the divisor. And we're dividing into this first polynomial here, y cubed minus 3y squared minus 7y plus 6. And what's the algorithm? What's the pattern? Dad's Oh, sorry, divide, multiply, subtract, bring down. And I said dads because when I was in 4th grade, my teacher said the algorithm is dads, mothers, sisters, brothers. Dads, mothers, sisters, brothers. Divide, multiply, subtract, bring down. You know, it's like, please excuse my dear Aunt Ellie. Way to remember it. Okay, so dividing. What are we dividing first? Y cubed divided by y. Really simple. We just look at the leading terms there and divide. How many times is y going to y cubed? How does that clean up? What is y cubed divided by y? Y squared, yes. So we write y squared up top. And now what do we do? Multiply. What are we multiplying? Y squared times y minus 4. And again, we have to distribute that. We're multiplying the entire divisor. Y squared times y is y cubed. Look at that, they match. All right, y squared times negative 4. Negative 4y squared, yes. Then what do we do? Subtract. Subtract everything. All right, y cubed minus y cubed is 0. But then we have negative 3y squared minus a negative 4y squared. What happens? Negative 3y squared minus a negative 4y squared. Got lots of negatives there. What happens? Yeah, this minus a negative is really addition, and so what's our result? 1y squared. Yes. 1y squared. And then what's the B stand for? Bring down. So we have some numbers here, negative 7y, and I also bring down the 6 so I don't lose anything if my handwriting gets off. All right, then what do we do? Are we done? What do we do? Go back and divide again. What are we dividing this time? This here's our dividend. I don't use the whole thing. What do I look at? The leading term, the 1y squared, and we're dividing by a y. And how does that clean itself up? How does it reduce? The y squared and the y cancel out, leaving a y behind. So we put positive y. And then we multiply. Y times y minus 4. And remember, you have to distribute to both. So we have y times y, which is y squared, and y times negative 4, which is negative 4y. As for subtract everything, 1y squared, take away 1y squared is 0. Negative 7y, take away a negative 4y, does what? Again, minus the negative becomes positive, and so we get negative 3y for the result there. Negative 7y minus a negative or plus 4y. And then B for bring down that 6. Bring down the positive 6. Are we done? No, we do it again. Only this time, what are we dividing? Negative 3y divided by y. How does that clean up? Negative 3, the y's cancel out. You're just left with that negative 3. And now we multiply. Negative 3 times the divisor. Negative 3 times y is negative 3y. And negative 3 times negative 4 is positive 12. We're going to subtract everything. Negative 3y minus a negative 3y. Is there. 6 minus 12 is negative 6. And that is our remainder. And I'm going to write, here's my quotient plus my remainder, negative 6, over my divisor. Y squared plus y minus 3 plus negative 6 over y minus 4. It's a long process. Okay, questions on this one? I have one more. I'm going to go a bit faster. 2x cubed minus 7x squared minus 17x minus 3 divided by 2x plus 3. What's different about this one? Yeah, and then we're in front of the x. Yeah. So might change things for you, but it's the same exact process. So my divisor is 2x plus 3. Dividing into 2x cubed minus 7x squared minus 17x minus 3. Divide, multiply, subtract, bring down. Divide, multiply, subtract, bring down. What are we dividing first? Two x cubed divided by 2x. So the leading terms, 2x cubed divided by 2x. How does that clean up? What happens to the 2's? They cancel out. What's x cubed divided by x? X squared. Yeah, you subtract. That's right. 3 minus 1. So we get x squared for our first part of our quotient. And then we're going to multiply x squared times 2x is 2x cubed. X squared times 3 is plus 3x squared. And then we're going to subtract everything. Two x cubed minus 2x cubed is 0. What's negative 7x squared minus 3x squared? Negative 10x squared, yes. And then B for bring down. So we're going to bring down the negative 17x and the negative 3. All right. And then we repeat the process and we go back to division. And so we look just at the leading terms. Negative 10x squared divided by 2x. How does that clean up? What happens with the negative 10 divided by 2? Negative 5. And x squared divided by x? Just x. So we get negative 5x. And again, we're multiplying now. Negative 5x times the divisor. What is negative 5x squared times 2x? negative 10x squared. That's right. And what's negative 5x times 3? Negative 15x. Yes, negative 15x. What's next? Subtract everything. Big subtraction sign. You don't want to overlook that. That's where most mistakes happen. Negative 10x squared minus a negative 10x squared is 0. What is negative 17x minus the negative 15x? Yes, negative 2x. Very good. The minus a negative becomes positive. The negative number wins. All right, and then we can bring down the negative 3. And lucky you get to do it one more time. Yay. So we divide our leading terms. Negative 2x divided by our divisor, 2x. What is negative 2x divided by 2x? Negative 1. So we put a negative 1 up top. And again, now we're multiplying negative 1 times my divisor. Negative 1 times 2x is negative 2x. Negative 1 times 3 is negative 3. What's next? Subtract everything. And what happens here? 0. Yes, we get a remainder of 0, which means I don't need to write remainder over divisor because it's just 0. So there we go. There's our final answer. Divided evenly, remainder 0. Okay? Do you have any questions for me? Divide, multiply, subtract, bring down. Hoorah. Okay. There you go. Please remember to put your name and seat number and class practice 2 on your paper.